A single thought, held with conviction, has the power to rewrite an entire relationship. Not 10 techniques, not endless effort, just one inner shift repeated with certainty. The moment that thought feels real, everything around it begins to rearrange. Something deeper than actions is shaping the direction of your marriage. Beneath words, beyond behavior, there is a silent current flowing through your thoughts that determines how everything unfolds. Most people try to fix relationships by changing what is seen on the surface, unaware that the real cause sits quietly within. Every reaction, every pattern, every distance or closeness is first formed in the unseen world of the mind. When that inner world carries doubt, fear, or assumptions of disconnection, it slowly reflects itself outward. But when a single powerful idea is planted and repeated daily, it begins to override all those old patterns, replacing them with a new direction that feels natural and inevitable. The mind is not just a place where thoughts pass by, it is a creative field where reality is shaped. One consistent belief, repeated with emotion, becomes stronger than 1,000 random thoughts. This is why thinking something once with deep feeling each day can be more powerful than constantly worrying or overanalyzing. It's not about how often the thought appears, but how deeply it is accepted. When that one idea becomes dominant, it begins to influence perceptions, reactions, and even the way situations unfold. Slowly, without force, the relationship starts to mirror that internal shift, creating changes that feel almost effortless. Clarity is where transformation begins. When the mind is scattered, results become scattered. But when a single clear thought is chosen, something simple, strong, and aligned with the desired outcome, it acts like a compass, guiding everything forward. That thought could carry the feeling of unity, of being understood, of mutual love and respect. Repeating it once daily, not mechanically but with genuine belief, allows it to sink deeper into the subconscious. And once it takes root there, it starts influencing reality in ways that go beyond logic. Emotions amplify thoughts, turning them into powerful signals. A thought without feeling is weak, but a thought filled with certainty becomes magnetic. Feeling the reality of harmony, connection, and love, even for a brief moment each day, creates an impression that lingers. That impression begins to replace old emotional patterns, gradually shifting the inner state. As the inner state changes, reactions become calmer, words become softer, and the overall energy of the relationship begins to transform. This is not about pretending, it is about allowing a new emotional truth to take its place within. Consistency holds the key to speed. One thought, repeated daily, builds momentum over time. Each repetition strengthens its influence, making it more natural and more believable. Eventually, it no longer feels like something being practiced, it feels like the truth. And when something feels true, it starts showing up in the outer world. The shift may begin subtly, with small changes in communication or unexpected moments of closeness. But these small changes are signs of a deeper transformation taking place. Resistance often slows progress without being noticed. Doubts, fears, and old assumptions can quietly interfere with the new thought being planted. Instead of fighting these feelings, allowing them to pass without attachment keeps the mind clear. Returning gently to the chosen thought each day reinforces its power. Over time, the new belief becomes stronger than the old resistance, and the mind naturally begins to favor it. This shift reduces inner conflict, creating a sense of calm certainty that reflects outward. The relationship between inner dialogue and external experience is direct and precise. Thoughts spoken internally about a partner, about the connection, or about the future all contribute to what unfolds. Changing that inner dialogue to match the desired reality begins to reshape experiences. Speaking internally with appreciation, understanding, and confidence shifts the energy being projected. As this becomes consistent, the response from the other person often begins to change as well. Not because they are being controlled, but because the dynamic itself is evolving. Belief grows stronger through repetition and evidence. As small positive changes begin to appear, they reinforce the new thought, making it easier to believe. This creates a cycle where belief leads to change, and change strengthens belief. Over time, what once felt uncertain becomes obvious. The relationship starts reflecting harmony more consistently, and the idea that once required effort now feels natural. This is how transformation builds step by step, through a steady alignment of thought and experience. Patience plays a quiet but important role. Change does not always appear instantly, but every consistent thought plants a seed that is growing beneath the surface. Trusting that process allows the mind to remain steady, without falling back into doubt. The absence of immediate results does not mean nothing is happening. It simply means the shift is still forming. Staying committed to that one thought each day ensures that the process continues moving forward without interruption. Attention shapes perception, and perception shapes reality. Focusing on what is improving, even in small ways, strengthens the new direction. Instead of looking for problems, noticing moments of connection, kindness, or understanding reinforces the belief that the relationship is shifting. This positive focus supports the chosen thought, allowing it to grow stronger and more effective. Over time, this shift in attention changes the overall experience of the relationship. A sense of calm replaces urgency. When trust is present, there is no longer a need to force outcomes or control situations. The daily practice of holding one powerful thought creates a quiet confidence that everything is aligning as it should. This calmness influences behavior, making interactions more natural and less reactive. The relationship benefits from this stability, creating space for genuine connection to grow. Transformation often feels subtle at first, but its impact becomes clear over time. The way conversations flow, the way emotions are handled, and the overall atmosphere of the relationship begin to shift. These changes are not random. They are the result of the consistent inner work being done. The daily thought acts as a foundation, supporting every interaction and guiding the relationship toward a more harmonious state. The power of simplicity should not be underestimated. Complicated methods often create confusion, but a single clear thought repeated with belief creates focus and direction. This simplicity makes it easier to stay consistent, which is what ultimately drives results. The mind responds well to clarity, and when it is given a clear instruction daily, it begins to follow that direction naturally. Self-awareness deepens as this practice continues. Recognizing old patterns and gently replacing them with the chosen thought strengthens control over the inner world. This awareness prevents automatic reactions from taking over, allowing more intentional responses. As control over thoughts increases, so does the ability to influence outcomes. The relationship benefits from this clarity, becoming more stable and aligned. Confidence grows with each passing day. Knowing that change is being created from within builds a sense of empowerment. This confidence is not loud or forceful, it is quiet and steady. It influences the way situations are handled, creating a more balanced and positive dynamic. The relationship begins to reflect this confidence, becoming more supportive and fulfilling. The connection between thought and reality becomes clearer as results appear. What once seemed uncertain now feels predictable. Holding a specific idea consistently leads to specific outcomes. This understanding strengthens trust in the process, making it easier to continue. The relationship continues to evolve, guided by the steady influence of the chosen thought. Everything begins within, and everything returns to that point. The daily thought is not just a practice, it is a way of directing life itself. Each repetition shapes the future, creating a path that aligns with the desired outcome. The relationship follows that path, moving steadily toward harmony and connection. The shift may not always be visible immediately, but it is always happening. Every moment spent holding that thought adds to its strength. Over time, the accumulation of these moments creates a powerful change that cannot be ignored. The relationship transforms not through force, but through alignment. And as that one thought becomes a natural part of the mind, repeated with belief and felt with certainty, everything begins to move faster. The distance between desire and reality shortens. The connection deepens. The experience evolves. Because the moment that thought is truly accepted, the shift is no longer in progress. It is already complete. A single idea, when chosen with clarity and held with intention, begins to influence everything beneath the surface. It doesn't need to be repeated endlessly throughout the day to be effective. It only needs to be accepted deeply, even if for a brief moment. That one thought starts to act like a seed planted in fertile ground, quietly growing without visible effort. Over time, it shapes perception, softens reactions, and guides behavior in subtle ways. The relationship begins to follow that inner direction, not through force, but through alignment. Small shifts in tone, attitude, and presence start appearing naturally. This is how one focused belief can gradually redirect the entire course of a connection. Feelings act as the energy that carries a thought into reality, giving it weight and presence. Without emotion, a thought remains light and easily replaced. But when it is felt deeply, it becomes something the mind holds on to. Experiencing even a short moment of genuine warmth, connection, or peace, as if it already exists, creates a powerful impression. That impression lingers, influencing the emotional state throughout the day. Over time, these repeated emotional experiences begin to replace older patterns of doubt or tension. The relationship starts to reflect that inner calm and positivity. It becomes less about trying to create change, and more about allowing it to unfold from within. Repetition builds familiarity, and familiarity eventually turns into belief. When a thought is returned to consistently, it stops feeling like something new and begins to feel natural. The mind accepts what is familiar, and once accepted, it begins to act on it automatically. This steady reinforcement strengthens the idea until it becomes the dominant perspective. As belief grows, actions and reactions align with it without conscious effort. The relationship responds to this shift, reflecting the stability of that belief. Over time, what once required effort becomes effortless, and the desired outcome begins to feel like the only possible direction. Inner conversations quietly shape external experiences more than most people realize. The way thoughts are framed about a partner, about situations, or about the future creates a tone that influences everything. Changing that internal dialogue to something more supportive and positive begins to shift the emotional environment. Words spoken within carry energy, and that energy subtly affects interactions. As the inner voice becomes more understanding and appreciative, the outer responses begin to match it. The relationship gradually transforms, not through direct control, but through the change in perception and attitude that comes from within. Letting go of urgency creates space for things to develop naturally. When there is no constant pressure to see immediate results, the mind relaxes and resistance fades. This relaxed state allows the chosen thought to settle more deeply without interference. There is no longer a need to question or force progress. Instead, a quiet trust takes its place, allowing the process to unfold at its own pace. This trust creates a smoother flow of experiences, where changes happen without strain. The relationship benefits from this ease, becoming more balanced and less reactive as the pressure disappears. Focusing on small improvements strengthens the direction of change. Even the slightest moment of understanding, kindness, or connection becomes significant when it is noticed and appreciated. This focus shifts attention away from problems and toward progress, reinforcing the belief that things are improving. As attention stays on what is working, it begins to grow. The mind naturally looks for more of these positive moments, increasing their presence. Over time, these small changes build into something much larger. The relationship evolves steadily, supported by a consistent focus on what is moving forward rather than what is lacking.